This is Flow 94.9 FM, and it is the flow of God's own state. Welcome to the platform. This is the pinnacle of all discussions where we take a critical look at issues as it affects our dear nation, Nigeria, and also as it affects our dear state, Abia State. Like I say, it is still part of our morning show anyways. We call our morning show the Morning Spice right here on the flow of God's own state. My name is Michael Oni. Well, it's no longer news that President Muhammadu Buhari appointed new service chiefs yesterday after years of complaints by Nigerians about the worsening security situation amidst the overstay of the Nigeria's military chiefs in office. The president accepted the immediate resignation, not sack, immediate resignation of the service chiefs, and appointed new officers as replacements. The four men, Gabriel Olonishakin, a general and chief of defense staff; Tuko Buratai, a lieutenant general and chief of army staff; Abubakar Sadiq, air marshal and chief of air staff; and Ibok Ibas, a vice admiral and chief of naval staff, were supposed to have retired over 2 years ago based on their years of service. But the president kept them in office even as the security situation in the country worsened, with bandits wreaking havoc in the northwest and the north central states, the Boko Haram carrying out attacks in the northeast, and kidnapping becoming the norm in several states in the country. Well, as the security situation got worse and more Nigerians called for the replacement of the service chiefs, Mr. Buhari, the president, stuck to his guns, insisting they were doing their best and did not deserve to be replaced, even when he finally relieved them of their positions yesterday. From the statement released by Mr. Femi Adesina, the president praised the officials for their overwhelming, I'm quoting, overwhelming achievements in their efforts at bringing enduring peace to the country. Even the National Assembly, despite that overwhelming achievement by the outgone military chiefs, not only contradict the perception of many Nigerians, but also contradict the position of the National Assembly, dominated by members of the president's party, APC. At least on three different occasions, the National Assembly called for the sack of the service chiefs based on the worsening security situation. On each occasion, the president ignored the lawmakers and retained the Olonishakin-led service chiefs who were appointed on the 13th of July 2015. After President Buhari assumed office. I know some analysts will say better late than never, but let me reveal the new service chiefs now on this platform, officially on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. Mr. Femi Adesina, the senior special assistant to the president on public affairs yesterday, said Leo Irabo, a major general, has been appointed as the chief of defense staff. And Mr. Irabo formerly led Nigeria's war against Boko Haram as the theater commander of the Operation Lafia Dole. Ibrahim Atahiru, also a major general, was named the new chief of army staff. Like Mr. Irabo, Mr. Atahiru had also led the war against Boko Haram. The president also appointed A.Z. Gambo, a rear admiral, as the chief of naval staff, and Isiaka Amao as the air vice marshal. And of course, after this appointment, many Nigerians came out and said, well, we're accusing the presidency of nepotism because the appointment didn't capture the Southeast. We will also look into that this morning. Let's go straight to the discussion. Well, this morning we have joining us a former Director Operations, DSS, and also a security expert, Chief Raymond Nkemderim. Good morning to you, Chief.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM. Now let's begin the conversation. Would the appointment of the security chiefs, do you think it will bring an end to the security situation, the security woes in the country?
Well, first of all, we must commend the president for having the courage to take the decision he has taken by injecting new blood into the nation's security system. I believe that the people coming on board know that they are faced with a lot of challenges, from what we're having to do with Boko Haram, the problem with the herdsmen, and what have you, kidnappings and all that all over the country. So I believe they should know that the expectations of Nigerians at this moment are indeed very high. Look at what we had happening in Olu a few days ago. The situation is really, really challenging. And I believe that the new team will be able to handle the challenges, because it would appear that the methods we've been using before now have not actually been achieving results or the desired results. So I'm hoping and I'm confident that the new team, realizing the challenge before them, will really take steps to turn things around.
All right. Some analysts are of the opinion that the security situation in the country is beyond relieving the service chiefs of their position and appointing a new one, that it's about the security architecture in the country. What do you make of that statement, this notorious statement? In my opinion, security architecture of the country should be overhauled.
I don't exactly share that view. It depends on where whoever is making that analysis is doing so from. I don't take what we have a tested security architecture in place. But then it is to enhance operations. A lot of times there is a major issue of funding. For instance, we see what other armies in other parts of the world, how equipped they are and all that. Now, if we don't have, in this era of drones and what have you, I don't think our men are fully equipped with all these modern.
Yes, Chief, I can hear you. If you can hear me. I think we have issues with the connection. We've been speaking with Chief Raymond Imkemderim, former Director Operations, DSS, and of course we're looking at the appointment of a new security chiefs that of course was announced yesterday by the presidency through Mr. Femi Adesina, spokesperson to Mr. President. And of course he's been speaking especially at a particular crucial point, and when I asked him about the security architecture. Now, he's been analyzing the issue of underfunding the system, the need to fund the system better, the issue of machineries and equipment. But we'll get across to him as we have sort out the issues with the connection. But in case you're joining us, it is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. Let's take a look at the profile of the service chiefs that were appointed yesterday by Mr. President. Chief of Army Staff Major General Ibrahim Atahiru, he succeeds Tukur Buratai, Lieutenant General, a native of Kaduna State. Mr. Atahiru was born on the 10th of August, that's 1966. And until his recent appointment, he was the General Officer commanding 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, Enugu. With service number 48406, he was a member of the Regular Course 35 of the Nigerian Defense Academy. I think we have Chief now back online. Thank you very much, Chief. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, let's continue the conversation. You're saying that the issue with the security architecture in the country is about funding.
Yes, I said, if you don't equip our security forces with modern day equipment, there is no way they can contend with the situation. Now, the criminals you have these days are themselves getting more and more sophisticated. You have highly educated people involved in crime and criminality these days. So if you are going to contend with such people, you must be a step ahead of them. So like I was saying, if you like, split the forces into as many agencies as you want to. If you don't fund them properly, they will not give you desired results. We wouldn't know why the last team of security chiefs did not perform effectively. It is not for you and I to judge. But then I think if we are bringing this new team, we must also encourage them with proper funding.
All right. After that appointment yesterday, the normal narrative in the country of where they came from, where they are coming from, also was at the forefront of discussion yesterday. Although Mr. President, through the special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, said the appointment of the security chiefs is not subject to federal character. Now, once again, the Southeast region was missing in the equation. How much of a factor is this issue in the peace that we are searching for?
Well, I don't know how the special advisor came about saying that appointment of
Yes, Chief Raymond. I've got issues with the connection again. The network is playing a very funny one this morning, but we will get back to him as we rectify the issue with the connection this morning. We've been speaking with Chief Raymond Nkemdirim, the former Director Operations, DSS. He's from Abia State, and of course, a security expert, doing the analysis concerning the appointment of the new service chiefs that Mr. President, made public yesterday. Now, I was telling you about the new service chiefs, their profiles just before we rectified the connection, and of course we lost the connection again. The new Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Leo Irabo, was born on the 5th of October 1965. He hails from Ika South in Delta State, a member of the regular course 34 of the Nigerian Defense Academy, and of course is the immediate past Chief of Training and Operations of the Defense Headquarters, and he's trained engineer from Obafemi Awolowo University and holds 2 master's degrees from the University of Ghana, Accra, and Bangladesh University of Professionals, Dakar. Formerly the theater commander of Operation Lafayette Dole, Northeast, as well as the... Okay, I think we have our guest back, and we've connected with him again. Yeah, now, Chief, I'm asking you about this normal narrative about Southeast region missing in the equation, and the presidency coming out through the special advisor on media and publicity saying that the appointment of the security chiefs is not subject to federal character.
Yes, I was saying that I don't know where the special advisor came up with that idea that federal character is not important in making these appointments. It's very important because the Constitution is very clear on that. Whatever we are doing, we must ensure that the component parts of the country are fully represented. It makes for confidence in the men.
All right, seems we have issues with the connection. It's the network is really playing a smart one this morning, and hopefully we will return to him and of course continue the conversation this morning. So I was telling you about Major General Ibrahim Atahiru with Army number 8406, born on the 10th of August 1966 from Kaduna North Local Government Area of Kaduna State, and a member of the regular course 35 of the Nigerian Defense Academy. Before his appointment as the Chief of Army Staff, he was a General Officer commanding 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, Enugu, and also a former theater commander of the Operation Lafayette Dole. He took over from Major General Leo Irabo in 2017. However, Major General Atahiru was removed for failing to stop Boko Haram. That was in 2017, yes. And all right, let's move on with the conversation. I think we will get back to Chief Raymond just before the end of the program. We have a regular also joining us, a security expert, Chief Chikwe Udense. Chief, good morning to you. Yeah, Chief, good morning. Can you hear me? We are live now. Interesting this morning, but I know we will get the connection well just before the end of the program. Now, I was telling you about Major General Ibrahim Atahiru, who was removed in 2017. And then the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuko Buratai, had given Atahiru 40 days to capture Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau, dead or alive, and he failed to accomplish this task and was removed without any posting. Meanwhile, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Isiaka Oladayo Amao was the Air Officer commanding Tactical Air Command. He was born on the 14th of September 1965 in Enugu. He hails from Oshogbo local government area of Osun State, and Air Vice Marshal Amao enlisted in the Nigerian. Okay, we have Chief Chikwe Udensi now. I think the connection is really playing a fast one this morning. Chief, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're welcome. You're speaking with Michael. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. As a security expert, what do you think?
Michael from where?
Michael from Flow FM. We're live on Flow 94.9 FM.
Okay, Michael, thanks for having me.
You're welcome, Chief Jukwe Udensi. Now, let's talk about the appointment of the security chiefs. Of course, as a security expert, what do you think about the timing of this appointment?
Thank you, Mike. Like you know, every Nigerian, at least everyone in the security area, except for those who are serving, we have insisted over time that there's a need to change the security chiefs, especially where they have all run out of ideas and the problem in the country has continued to escalate. But like you know, I have also insisted that though it is the right thing to do right now to change them, it is also important you make sure that you provide the necessary instrumentality for security. Well, you and I know that right now they're not there. The equipment are obsolete, they are unserviceable. You and I also know that the invading forces, they have superior weapons. I don't know if you watched what happened a few days ago when we had our helicopter gunships attacking the invading forces in the Sambisa forest. We were shocked to find out that they had very sizable number of surface-to-air missiles. These surface-to-air missiles were used to attack our helicopter gunships, and they were near misses, very, very dangerous near misses. The security the gunships had to withdraw, allowing them to continue with their movement. So it shows you that these gentlemen are very prepared to fight.
So are you saying it is beyond appointing new service chiefs now? It's beyond that. Are you saying it's about funding?
Yes, it is good enough to appoint the security chiefs, but they cannot fight with empty hands. Right now, we don't have the tools. Even the training itself is not there. Our security report we have 3 days ago showed that those who were employed 15 years ago have not gone for one training at all, not even one training. Having been employed 15 years ago. You must have to ensure that you have the tools. You must have to ensure that you train them. Like you know, we say in security, failing to train is training to fail. If you don't train them, how can they know the new tactics? How can they know how to use the new weapons if the weapons are available? But right now, most of the weapons we have in almost all the agencies we have in the country are unserviceable, they are obsolete, they are outdated. You saw the other day, it has been trending, where our security, the army, they were pushing one of the armored vehicles. They were pushing them. They are no more serviceable.
Now, a big question comes to mind.
It's not just enough to appoint. It's not just enough to appoint
Chief Udensi. A big question comes to mind. A lot of money being earmarked for security, for the military, on a yearly basis in our budget. Now, that question is, where are the monies? Where are the monies being earmarked for all these things being especially highlighted in the budget on a yearly basis? Apart from that, we have security votes for the governors, we have security votes for the presidency.
Mike, 2 years ago, Some of us, the security consultants, in one of our briefings, we insisted on meeting with the security chiefs to find out if actually these monies that are budgeted, if they are being released to them. And if they are being released to them, how come we still have obsolete equipment? How come most of our equipment are unserviceable? We went to them. We met with the chief of army staff. We met with the chief of air staff. We met with the chief of naval staff. The fact of the matter remains that when most of these budgets are announced, there is no equidistant release of funds to support them. That is what we realized, my brother. As much as I'm not trying to hold brief for any of them, as much as I'm not trying to say that they have utilized the funds given to them effectively, but they showed us documents to show that, as a matter of fact, it has been earmarked, but not earmarked. They haven't seen the money. So what I will advise government is that they should ensure that they put security on the front burner. As much as you have appointed new security chiefs right now, you have to give them the equipment to work with. Otherwise, the story will remain the same.
All right. I know you must have gone through the names and, of course, the profile of the service chiefs appointed by Mr. President yesterday. As a security expert, do you have confidence in the profile of those service chiefs appointed by Mr. President yesterday?
It is the prerogative of Mr. President to appoint. What we have decided to do is to hold a meeting by 12 o'clock today.
Okay.
To analyze the capacity, the capability, the antecedents, and we'll make a very formal report on it. I will tell the president if we are not comfortable with this, we'll politely and effectively inform the president that this man lacks competence. Because what we require right now is not just general. We require an operational general, a general that has capacity to operate. If you don't have capacity, then you cannot do the job right now. So after 12 o'clock today, which will be after our meeting today, we'll be sending a message to government to tell them this is capable, this is not capable.
All right, Chief. Chikwe Udensi, Interpol system expert, a security consultant. Thank you very much for your analysis this morning on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, you heard Chief Chikwe Udensi. He's also from Abia State. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll continue the conversation, the analysis on the appointment of the security chiefs as done by Mr. President yesterday. It came shocking to many. This call has been on for about 2 years now, that the president should overhaul those manning the affairs of the security in the country, and it happened yesterday shockingly. No one expected it, unpredictable. We take a break now. When we return, we continue the conversation. It is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, right here on Flow 94.9 FM.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
Thank you very much. It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. And of course, we've been looking at the appointment of the security chiefs, the service chiefs in the nation that happened yesterday, shockingly to many. And of course, we've been looking at several experts' analysis. And of course, we spoke with Chief Chikwe Udensi just earlier before we spoke with Chief Chikwe. We're speaking with Chief Raymond Nkemdirim, former Director Operations DSS in the country. And of course, we had hiccups with the connection. We will get back to him definitely this morning. But let's break down the discussion now. Let's talk about some domestic security issues in Abia State. We have the spokesperson of the Abia State Vigilante Service, Ben Uche. He was here sometimes last year. We spoke about Bakassi, the same thing with Abia State Vigilante Service. We have Ben Uche again in the studio of Flow 94.9 FM on the platform. It is still about security. Good morning to you, Mr. Ben.
Good morning, Mr. Mike. Thank you very much. Dear Abians, good listeners, please let's listen to us very well. Thank you very much.
All right, let's look at some peculiar security issues in the state vis-a-vis what happened in Imo State a couple of hours ago. That was a unfortunate incident, the clash between suspected members of ESN and, of course, the Nigerian army. Can you highlight some peculiar domestic security issues in Abia State, and how have you been able to tackle them?
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. The Abia State Vigilance Services, since the creation, have been working extensively with the sister security agencies to ensure that we protect life and properties of the Abia as a whole. Like this year, we've lined up a lot of issues that we're going to tackle. We've lined up some activities that was going to ensure that we reduce crime to its lowest minimum.
Okay, just a moment, Mr. Ben. I'm going to return to you. Let's conclude the conversation on the national issues, then we break it down to the domestic issue. We've been having issues with the connection. I think we have Chief Raymond in Kemderim now online, the former Director of Operations, DSS, and also a security expert. Chief, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I hope it wouldn't cut again.
I hope so too. This network is playing a very fast one this morning. Now, you were talking about the appointment of the service chiefs vis-a-vis federal character principle, as also mentioned by Mr. Femi Adesina. And of course, unfortunately, Southeast region was missing in the equation this time around.
Yes, federal character is a constitutional thing. That's why we even have a Federal Character Commission. So I wouldn't know where the special advisor came up with this idea that federal character is not important when making appointment of service chiefs. Now we are talking of security forces who have to be in the right frame of mind to function. Now when you do things like this, you exclude certain parts of the country consistently for very key appointments in the security sector. There's a trickle-down effect, because those fighting forces, those men, we feel, why put in all we have when at the end of the day we are not considered fit to occupy the commanding heights of the various agencies they belong to? So that mindset has to be changed, so that people don't feel excluded in any way. People should be carried along. So I believe that not having taken into consideration all segments of the country in making this appointment, it was actually a very faulty one. And I think going forward, things like this should be corrected and not allowed to continue.
All right, we have pockets of regional security issues at the moment. The alleged vacation order in Ondo State and the clash between the military and the Eastern Security Network in Olu, Imo State. And I'm asking, what should be the immediate responsibility of the service chiefs?
Well, of course, these issues we have in this southeast and the southwest should be taken very seriously by these new commanders, because the issues at stake affect directly the unity of this country. So if we don't handle them carefully, if we don't handle these issues carefully, then we might have ourselves to blame in the long run. So I believe that beyond military tactics, it's also important that a lot of dialogue is brought to bear on the situation in these respective parts of the country, because there is no doubt that there are little animosities or misgivings here and there which have culminated in what we are seeing in these parts of the country. So it's important that these new commanders take up these challenges head on in the shortest possible time, because if these things are allowed to fester for too long, before you know it, there could be a conflagration that could engulf the whole country.
All right. Thank you very much, Chief Remodin Kemderim, for speaking to us this morning on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM. We do appreciate.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. That's Chief Remodin Kemderim. Let me state that he's also the chairman of Flow 94.9 FM, the chief executive officer. Now, let's drop the anchor this morning and, of course, break it down and talk about some domestic security issues in the country. I have been speaking with Mr. Ben Uche, the spokesperson of the Abia State Vigilante Service. And of course, Mr. Uche, I was asking you the peculiar security issues in this state just before we concluded that part of our discussion this morning. Yes.
Yes, Mike. Yeah, that's the question you asked. See, from my explanation, from look of things, from this year, our outfit have been able to map out strategies to strengthen the security architecture of the state, just by introducing what we call a normal security patrol. This patrol will cut across all the 17 local government area of the state, and we measured on some flash points where these bad boys and some suspected criminals are being used as a hideout. So we have recorded a lot of achievement on this. Why? Let me use this opportunity to thank the governor for all his assistance to ensure that this outfit remain.
Okay, let's look at some issues now. Some of those security issues, domestic security issues. A bit of some of them I can remember on the platform this morning is the issue of this attack on soft target. The POS operators in the state have become some sort of a soft target for criminals in the state. The issue of kidnapping also on the rise along its equator axis, and some other issues in Aba. You know, Aba is known for criminality, especially some areas in Aba. So, what is your agency doing, the Abia State Vigilante Service doing, and what have you done to stem the tide of some of these crimes?
Okay, just like in Equator, it has been a very big challenge for us. But for now, any moment from now, we're going to establish a unit. We have been having a discussion with some stakeholders at that local government to ensure that we establish a unit. You see, we don't have a unit at Isquato for now, but we've already concluded plans to ensure that we establish a unit which will tackle those menaces in that area. But in the area of attacked by these POS operators, we have introduced what we call the surveillance team. Okay. The surveillance teams, they are not in the uniform. We've deployed them to all major areas within Omaya and Aba. Just as I speak now, in the Siget Axis, we've mapped out some men who are there to monitor them. And as I speak, in Aba, about 3 of them have been arrested just yesterday, and they've been handed over to Ndiagoro Police Station for onward investigation and prosecution. So we've mapped out strategies to ensure that Abia remains safe for this year. The Commander General of Abia State Vigilance Services, Ideka Martin Suba, have been working tirelessly to ensure that his men is all over the whole states to reduce crime to its lowest minimum.
Let's talk about the synergy between your agency and the government, and especially the Minister of Homeland Security. There is synergy between your outfit and the ministry.
Yes, there is a very big synergy between.
They have their men.
Yes.
You also have yours.
Very
your
good.
men are popularly known as Bakassi boys. Am I correct?
The Abia State Vigilance Service.
Okay.
AKA Bakassi.
AKA Bakassi. I said popularly known as Bakassi boys. Yes. So there should be a synergy. How do you work hand in hand without usurping each other's responsibilities?
Okay, thank you, Mike. See, before the governor created the Ministry of Homeland Security, he has in mind that the Homeland Security will nurse 3 parastatals. One is the Abia State Vigilance Service, the other one is Neighborhood Watch, and the Forest Guard. Now, the job of Abia State Vigilance Services is to protect lives and properties of the Abia. Then that of the neighborhood is exactly what the Homeland Security, probably from look of things, the people they've just recruited are about to do. They're not going to carry firearms. They're going to be on, and they are going to be information givers to all the security agencies. Just as you see now, they've been posted all around some areas, just in the local government, in some markets, some parks, and some offices, So that is their own. Now, in the area of the forest guard have to do with some hunters, some people, some community policing who are going to work within our neighborhood. See, from the forest, anytime you want to go to another area, just like in local government, from local government to another local government, from another state to another state, you notice that there must be a forest within that area. So the hunters will also be used. But in all, the ministry had just tried to ensure they bring up everybody together, just as they have been partnering with Abia State Vigilance Services. But more need to be done to ensure that.
When you say more to be done to ensure that we reduce crime in the state, what exactly do you mean by more should be done? Is it on your part, or on the government's part, or on the people's part, the masses, Abians?
Number one is the people's part. You see, we are not magicians. We expect people to give vital information to all the security agencies in the state so that we can work with their directives, with the information they have given. Another one is also in the government. You see, the Ministry of Homeland Security, as created by the governor, is a very sensitive ministry, which should be manned by somebody who is who has been experienced in the area of security. So, but in other way too, the governor has also tried to assist by prompt payment of salaries of almost all the whole Bakassi main Nigerian Civil Services, just as in this last Christmas, at least everybody went home smiling because the governor was able to pay the salaries as at went to.
Okay, the last time you're here, I asked you about some machineries, equipment needed for the smooth running of your establishment, of your outfit. And you spoke about the issue of petrol vehicles, and you need support, more support from the government. How about that? Have you gotten more support from the government?
Yes, we've gotten support from the government and some private individuals who have also been assisting. For example, now the governor released money for us to repair most of the vehicles that was not movable. As I speak now, we have about 8 of our Helios vans are on the road now. The governor, through the Ministry of Homeland Security, released some funds to ensure that those vehicles were repaired and they are hitting the road. But we still need more. The government cannot do everything alone. We want the other private organizations to at least assist the government. Look at the kind of money we receive from the federal allocation. So we want the public to please assist the government. Security is everybody's business. Okay. It's not only for the government. It's not only for our own. Just everybody's business. So that is why all hands must be on deck to ensure that we reduce crime to its lowest minimum in the state.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to get feedbacks this morning on the phone lines and also the SMS line. I will be taking your comments on our Facebook page. We have a couple of comments there already. Obama says the newly appointed service chiefs have a higher service to render because people believe that the newly security chiefs are more competent. Relieved of their former chief of staff duty doesn't make them incompetent, but we need more modern security strength to tackle security challenges. All right, let's see if we can get more comments, but let me return to Mr. Ben in the studio now. Let's look at some other issues concerning the Abia Vigilante Service. The issue of farmer headers clash in Nigeria is a very, very controversial issue, and of course a very important issue, Mr. Ben. And of course we're expecting what have you been able to do, because you know some of the nukes and the crannies on the state more than even the Nigerian police force. Your men are from the state, and you relate with the indigents more than even the Nigerian police force. How have you been able to wade into some of this crisis in the state, in Abia State?
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. Before now, because of the issue of the herdsmen, we've been able to create a unit at Okwampuru. You see, the people of the area came reporting that herdsmen have been disturbing them and they can't go to their farms and other areas where they can get what they eat. So the Commander General, through the directive of the Ministry of Homeland Security, has established a unit in Okwampuru, and presently our men are there. So it has just reduced. We are also trying to establish other units within some areas in the state where we don't have none. Like in Ohofia area, we're going to establish another unit close to Arochukwu area, where these herdsmen also come. In Bende also, we're also trying to ensure that we establish another unit there. So by the time we establish another unit, those things will come to an end. But in all, the major people that are supposed to fight or supposed to look about these herdsmen are the forest guard. So by the time the ministry introduce a forest guard unit,
are you now making a call to the Minister of Homeland Security to create a forest guards, or do we have them already?
Exactly. I'm making a call for the Minister of Homeland Security for them to create a forest guard, because it is part of their own. It is part of their job for them to create a forest guard. A forest guard is supposed to be part of their parastatal, under the Homeland Security, where these people will man those forests within our areas, from the neighborhood of other states, to ensure that we reduce this crime to the lowest minimum. But our men are also trying the little they could do to make sure that these herdsmen will put to a stop.
All right. Sir Ike on the Facebook page says, "Good morning, Michael. Is it possible for an indigenous officer to tackle and deal effectively insecurity in his town that non-indigenous officer would have done without influence or compromise nor sentiment?" All right. Keep your comments coming on our Facebook page this morning. Unfortunately, we couldn't take calls. Now, let's talk about your achievements, more achievements from the Vigilante Service just before we wrap up the program this morning, Mr. Ben. And what are the other things we should expect from your outfit?
Thank you very much, Mike. For the past 1 month or thereabout, from the Christmas period to this end, we've achieved a lot, especially in Aba. The issue of these cultisms in Aba has been reduced to the lowest minimum. Most of these boys have been arrested and handed over to police for onward investigation and prosecution. We've mapped out another strategy we call Operation Sweep All Bandits.
Sweep all bandits. Okay.
And all the whole unit leaders were involved. They were on a patrol in all the whole areas in Aba and Omaya also. So from there, we were able to arrest, find out some flashpoints, hide out for these criminals, and we've arrested. We've all arrested them. If you go to the Diego police station and ask for the DPO or any other senior officer, he will tell you that on daily basis, our men bring people, those suspected criminals, suspected cultists, to them.
Interesting.
For onward investigation and prosecution too. So we've been working tirelessly. We will also ensure that we work in synergy with the Nigerian police, because they are our sister security agents, where at the end of the day, when we arrest, we hand over for them for onward investigation and prosecution. Mr.
Ben Uche, the spokesperson of the Abia State Vigilante Service, thank you very much this morning. Of course, what your outfit has been able to do concerning some domestic security issues in the state. So I would like to take your advice, hopefully, of course, for us to be security conscious.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. Abians, please, this is an advice we will all want you people to please abide on. Don't be afraid of anything. Just give security agencies a vital information. Some of you know the neighborhood. A lot of people are within your area you don't know, and you don't know the activities, don't know where they're coming from. Just give us 1 or 2 phone calls where we can also come for a rescue. And again, mind the activities of your children. Monitor their activities. Know the kind of friends they keep, both male and female. Know the kind of friends they keep, so that at the end of the day, they will not run into trouble.
Thank you very much. And of course, the program returns on Friday. Don't forget to join us later on this evening on the State of the Nation. You will have the opportunity to say your mind, of course, hear your thoughts live on radio on the State of the Nation at 8:30 concerning the appointment of the service chiefs, new service chiefs for the country. Apologies, we couldn't take calls today. I hope you will bear with us. Many thanks to the producer, Samson Eze. He got himself an associate producer that she calls herself, Uyai Jimmy. Thank you very much also. And also Solomon and Stanley, thank you very much for the visuals on our Facebook page and also on our Twitter page. My name is Michael Oni. Do enjoy the rest of your day.